Good evening, everyone. Happy Once Sunday again. Happy Once Sunday as we are musing upon the TV series Once Upon a Time. I am once again joined by Weaver's Grace. Welcome to the show tonight, Weaver's Grace.
Hello and welcome again, oncers. We are once again, and I just appreciate everybody that's been responding to these polls
Mhm.
because it means people still care about Once Upon a Time and in a positive manner.
Exactly. And that's kind of what we're doing. Like every now and then, yeah, sometimes we accidentally slip a little bit and talk a little bit about the seasons that shall not be named. But in general, yeah, we want to talk about, what we love about this show and our favorite episodes. Uh, we're going to be using Tamara's poll here that she has on her Twitter, where people have been voting for which ones they love the most. And last time we ended with the ultimate episode, Skin Deep, and it just kept winning. Well, it wasn't quite 100%. Okay, there were a
Yeah,
few people that voted for a few other episodes,
yeah.
but in general, I think the general consensus is that was the best episode, and that's just all there is to
Well,
it.
and of the final tallies I did for the 22 episodes, Skin Deep won had 87 votes in all these polls, and the next closest episode was like 25 votes. So Skin Deep just really smashed the competition.
Yeah. Well, and even Robert Carlyle in an interview with the staff member with Gareth and Laura from Once Upon a Fan, he had said that it was the best 42 minutes of television that he'd done up to that point. Maybe he's changed his mind since then, but it was perfection. And so no matter what we do, in my humble opinion, and it's not just because of Rumbell. Yeah, it was good for everybody. It was such a good episode. So that's the ultimate episode.
And
Now we're
that
gonna
was,
put. Sorry, go
I was
ahead,
going to
Tamara.
say, that was the heart of Once, was everybody got a piece of the show.
Mm-hmm.
That was the best part of Once.
Yep.
So, and I'll let you go on.
Yeah. No. You're exactly right, and that's what I always say. Everyone had moments in there, and it's just well done. So what we are starting with now is what happened to Frederick. And I recall when this episode was announced and it was what happened to Frederick, part of me was like, who the heck is Frederick? and why do we care what happened to him?
It was
And
that brief mention in The Shepherd where they're getting ready to do something and it says, "Remember what happened to Frederick?"
exactly. And again, this is where it was very, very well crafted because they did do that. And then they brought us to, well, what happened to Frederick? Well, poor Frederick unfortunately got turned into gold by Catherine, Abigail's,
Midas.
father, Midas. And it turns out we find that Abigail was not the big cow we all thought she was. She actually was pretty cool, that she was never really wanting to marry Charming, and that she had a one true love named Frederick. And Charming, because he's just that charming, decided to help them and went and got some like magical waters and was able to um cure him. And it was really awesome when they kissed at the end and everything. It was just so romantic.
And, and there were some good charm attacks in that. You know, he had to fight the
Oh,
mermaid that turned into snow, or the
oh
lady of the lake, or whatever she was. I can't remember now.
yeah.
But that was a really cool visually effect episode.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why I say all the episodes in season one were really good. And it did get 3 votes, so I was happy people did vote for some of these other episodes too.
Yeah. So even though we love Skin Deep with an unnatural passion, yeah, there were other great episodes, and also really good Storybrooke moments where Catherine decides that she's going to go off and pursue a college degree, and Snow gets caught out being the town tramp. And I mean, you talk about drama. Can you imagine you're minding your own business in your school and your teacher's walking down the hall and some lady just comes up and clobbers her? I mean, it's like, yeah,
and of all people, it's little meek and mild Mary Margaret.
exactly. And also that moment that just always kills me, that as Catherine's going to smack Mary Margaret, she bumps into Jim, the gym teacher, who is really Frederick. Oh, it killed me. But we do know that they do finally get back together again. So, an excellent episode. And I also like at the end of this was when Mary Margaret dumped David, because, well, first of all, Dumb David, I used to call him Dumb David. He was so chicken, and he never told Catherine the truth, and Mary Margaret thought he did, and it was just so toxic that she finally goes, I don't know what this is, but it's not love. And then she breaks up with him. And I thought that was really cool.
I think somebody's joined us. Hello, Aura.
Oh, yes, hello, Aura. Welcome, welcome. Great to see you. Thank you for popping in. Yeah, and so I thought that was also pretty cool, that at the moment that they actually kind of could have been together, Mary Margaret's like, you know what we have? It's not love. It's something else. And I thought that was really well said. You know, that they'd been cheating, they'd been sneaking around, and then Charming lied to Catherine. It was lied by omission. So it was very well done. And also we got some Charming tears. Charming cried. Anytime Charming cries, it is automatically a great episode.
Yes. That was the soap opera, David. It was like, I want Charming back.
Oh, yeah. And of course, by this point, I was sick to death of the whole thing. And the next plot, it really did drive me kind of crazy. I did not like the whole falsely accused of killing Catherine plot. It really annoyed me.
Drug out.
Yeah, it was drug out a little too long. But I should add, if only I'd have known back then that what was being drug out a little too long there was nothing compared to what they drug out later. Like, how naive we were.
Yes, I know.
Yeah. So let's move on to Dreamy. Dreamy, I thought kind of sucked. I didn't like it.
It was goofy.
It was silly, and I didn't like Astrid at all. Oh, wait, let me rephrase that. I didn't like her. Actually, okay, it's not that I didn't like her. I liked her when she was a sister in Storybrooke, but her being the way she was with that stupid pink thing and the pixie dust.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I didn't like that part of it. And I actually really... I'm sorry, go ahead.
Hi, Puddin' Tame and Lucky. Okay. We have some people again. Hello.
Yeah, absolutely. Great for coming in. Yes, and thank you, Luffy's God. I do appreciate that. And Puddin' Tame. Yeah, Puddin' Tame. Oh, let's go ahead and read this one from Puddin' Tame because this is relevant to the Frederick episode. Then they dropped Frederick and Abigail. It would have been nice to see Abigail and David's friendship continue after curse was broken. The couples could have teamed up. Yes. And I don't know if you remember, Puddin' Tame, but I did a whole petition thing, and the actress who played her, Anastasia, she would like and retweet it. And I had like my cats doing this thing, like more Frederick and Abigail. I even named it Fredrigale. I gave it a ship name and everything. I really tried, but yeah, they didn't. They weren't interested because that would have been cool. I absolutely agree with you. Hi, Keck44. Thank you for popping in. Yeah, it's always good to see people around. Oh, and then Puddin' Tame says, Dreamy was stupid and one to skip if you rewatch. Hi. Yeah. And of course, Puddin' Tame was also a staff member of Once Upon a Fan. It's great to see you. We had quite some memories. Yeah. I guess I should reframe it a little bit. I didn't like the Enchanted Forest part of Dreamy, but
except for Belle.
Except, well, of course. Okay, Belle is a total different thing. But I thought that the blue fairy was a cow in this one, and I thought that
She was
Astrid,
ridiculous most of the time.
yeah,
Shady blue.
shady blue. Yes, exactly. And the stuff with the dwarfs being in eggs, and I was just like, those poor actors. On the other hand, I guess that's their job to act. So if their job was to
Yeah.
act hatching out of an egg, that was their job.
Hey,
But
Grumpy got something to do besides the curse. It's here.
exactly, it was the only episode he got,
Yeah.
and but I thought that the Storybrooke part was actually pretty cool. The whole stuff with the Sister Astrid messing up the order of the helium, and Grumpy was going to help her out. And there was a part of me that really thought it was a cool idea that the fairies would be sisters in Storybrooke. And I also liked it because it was a positive portrayal. That's not always something that you see. And the way that the sisters are portrayed in Once Upon a Time, that is far more realistic. That is far more like real, if you know sisters.
Definitely, yes.
Yeah. They're exactly like that. So I really did enjoy that aspect of the show. I was pleasantly surprised. And there's a great Mr. Gold part in there with Robert Carlo just walks in for a few seconds and steals the scene, and then we get a hint of his problems with the sisters. He's and the fairies. It's like, we don't have a good past.
Yeah. And then we find out why.
Yeah.
In the return.
And of course, and Belle. Of course, Belle makes a cameo. It's the first we see her after Skin Deep.
She's drinking in the bar.
Drinking in a bar. Yeah, that was a little concerning. But also more evidence that Regina was lying through her teeth about what happened to Belle. Though we all knew it because of the way the end of Skin Deep. So, good, terrible episode, but good moments. Good moments.
Compared, like you said, to what we got later.
Yeah, compared to what we got later. Exactly. And I actually thought it was kind of cool the way it had the way they decided. Mary Margaret and Grumpy just decided to blow up everything. Oh no, Grumpy decided it, and she just kind of went along with it. She was like, "What are you doing?" And then they sold the candles, so that was cute.
Oh yeah, because she was selling the candles, and everybody looked at her, and it's like, we're not buying anything from her. She's
the tramp. Yeah. And it did end with Charming got arrested at the very end of this episode. Yeah. And I was just like, oh, just shoot me now. I already was sick of it. Am I correct that the next one, was it 15? Was that?
That was Red Riding Hood. Peter and the Wolf.
Oh, Red-Handed. Now, Red-Handed, that episode was freaking amazing.
I loved Megan Ori. I wish I wouldn't have got rid of her. I know she went and found another show or something, but
but they screwed her over. Yeah.
And then they messed her story up when they did bring her back. So it's like,
yeah, whatever. They did terrible things, but it was so cool because we kind of guessed that might have been the twist on her, but the way it unfolded. And yeah, her boyfriend was named Peter and the Wolf, and we get to see her and Snow White meet up. I loved that.
And their costumes were so gorgeous because you had the red and the white.
Oh yes, yeah. And Granny, the actress who played Granny, had an awesome monologue that she got to do. And in an interview with one of our staff members, I think it was Ashley, she said how, as an actress, to have that moment and just realize, holy crud, I get to have this big, huge monologue. And when she's essentially a character actress in the show, she's a supporting character. and that how thrilled she was when she read
Yeah,
her
Beverly
monologue.
Elliott. Yep.
Yeah, Beverly Elliott. Thank you. Yeah, that it was a great moment for her, and that was just neat how she said how she was flipping through the script, and then when she realized, oh my gosh, I get to do this incredible scene, and she killed it, where she told the story about the wolves killing her family, and of course we learned more of the truth that they just were all werewolves. And that was Red that was going around slaughtering everybody.
Oh, I know. And then we never really got to find out what was between Rumple and Granny, because remember in the second season, it's like, oh, we have a long history.
Oh yeah. Now, was it established that Rumpelstiltskin was the one who gave Granny the magic cloak?
Not really, because there's a book that they published called Red's Untold Tale.
Mm-hmm.
And I was waiting to see if it was Rumpelstiltskin, but it was a completely different wizard. Now, I don't know how far into canon that goes, but really,
yeah.
we should have seen more to see what was going on there.
Yeah, I would have loved to have seen more of that because, yeah, the animosity between them was hysterical. And I mean, how terrible was it that moment where Red Riding Hood convinced her boyfriend that he was the wolf and he got tied up. So when she transformed, he was a sitting duck.
Oh, I know.
And he couldn't escape her. Okay, I just want to address so what Luffy is saying. Actually, Luffy, yes, it is a Disney show. Yeah, they would not have gotten away with it. Yeah, no. Disney did produce this, so that's they had the copyrights to all those those manners of portrayals.
Yeah.
Yes,
and putting yes more of the wolves, because we only got that other episode.
Oh yes, with the mother
season. Yeah,
and that was okay, but it wasn't.
It wasn't one of my favorite episodes.
No. But yeah, the whole revelation and the boyfriend becomes dinner.
Yeah. Oh,
I ate my boyfriend.
Poor Red. I know. That was such a horrifying moment when you realize what happened.
Yeah, and she realizes not only is she the wolf, but she's like, "Oh, what's wrong with Peter?" It's like, well, he was dinner, kid.
Snow was going to help her go meet Peter, and Snow hid with the cloak, and that's why she didn't have the cloak on to keep her from turning into the wolf.
Mm-hmm. It's terrible.
Yeah.
And Megan Ori did such a good job. She was just screaming and everything. It was great. This episode was definitely, it was so awesome. And well, and then we learned that that's how she goes on the run, and her and Snow and Charming, they all are working together. Heart of Darkness, that was gosh, I'm just gonna keep repeating myself. All of these.
Okay, there I am. I'm back to the poll for that. we got two votes for the Heart of Darkness, which was a good one, because that was the one where Rumple got the hair from Charming's cloak to get his true love potion.
Yes. And he got the cloak too, and I love it how he wore the cloak later.
Yeah,
yeah, that was a really good. Well, it was a really great, charming episode when he convinces Snow, because Snow's all dark and weird, and he does his big monologue about love or whatever it was, and that he would do anything for her, and then they kiss, and True Love's kiss wakes her out of the spell.
That's why I kind of hated later on that they established that Charming's real name was David, because I'm like, I like too much better just being Charming, because it's like that was his Storybrooke name.
Yeah, and or James even. Yeah.
Yeah, because James was the evil brother, but then they had that episode where his name was David all along, and I thought, nah,
that was stupid. No.
Yeah.
Yeah, especially since David, I associated him with Dumb David.
Yeah.
We called him Dumb David. He was so stupid. But that it was a good episode. It was a lot of fun, a lot of good Rumple moments, and you learn about the whole bottling true love. That's what Rumpelstiltskin was going for. Now, and we don't know why yet, but that's where we were going. Oh my gosh, these episodes. And then after that, holy crud, we got Hat Trick. That
That
episode.
was the wildest episode
It
with
it was
Emma, and
oh,
it was a good one.
it was probably one of Emma's best episodes. And her and the Winter Soldier, they hooked up through this. The actors did, and their chemistry was through the roof.
Yeah.
And with him being the Mad Hatter, and he was crazy, like homicidal maniac crazy.
Well, and somehow Regina left him his memories.
Yeah, she wrote it into the curse somehow.
Yeah. So that
He
I would
would
have
be
liked
tortured.
seen Jefferson and Gold team up at some point. That would have been an interesting team up again.
Yeah, we did get that in some flashbacks
Mhm.
in season 2, but I know exactly what you're talking about, and how horrible of Regina to make him have his memories.
Separating from his daughter.
Yeah, and she even taunted him, saying, "Oh, you shouldn't have left your daughter." And it's like he left because of you, practically blackmailing him.
Mhm. Yes, Puddin, Jefferson, another character that got dropped.
Mm-hmm.
It
Though
seems
to
like
be
yeah.
be fair on that one though, he what happened there was the dude got the Winter Soldier.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Once upon a time, or Marvel Avengers, where you're making millions of dollars. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but he was a good character.
Yes.
And I'm not an Alice in Wonderland fan at all.
No.
The original story. It creeps me out.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you, there are so many good quotes in this episode where he's talking to Emma about, belief.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It was a good episode.
And then he was like, was it, yeah, here's a good quote. You know what the issue is with this world? Everyone wants some magical solution for their problems, and everyone refuses to believe in magic. I mean, that's it.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah, and then his thing about stories. Gosh, the amount of essays we wrote based on this, or rather, Lori did, a staff member Once Upon a Fan, when he was like stories. What's a story? And it talked again about the power of what a story is, which is what made Once Upon a Time so amazing, was because they did understand that there was something about a story, even though it's technically not true, it has power to it. And
Definitely.
yeah, I'm trying to find the actual quote. What was
Which
your favorite?
one?
Oh, the one that he says about stories.
Okay.
Yeah. But also at the end when he puts on the hat and you see that he'd been decapitated, the big old scar. Oh my gosh. He did that scene so elegantly.
Okay. I might have found it here. I found a transcript.
Okay.
Let's see. Let's see.
Yeah.
Probably have to go through the whole thing. Because
Yeah.
it was later on.
Yes.
Yeah. Because for the last 28 years, I've been stuck in this house day after day, always the same. Until your yellow bug roll into town. You brought something precious to Storybrooke, magic. And then let's see if I can find it. There's something about Henry. He's trying to tell Emma that she has magic. Stories, what's a story? Let's see.
Yeah.
And storybooks are based on what? Imagination. Where does that come from? It has to come from somewhere. You know what the issue is with this world? Everyone wants some magical solution to their problem, and everyone refuses to believe in magic.
Mm-hmm.
And then, let's see. Let me go back to the evil queen.
Yeah. I mean, all of those, he was just
Mhm.
dropping truth bombs with what he was saying. And and Emma, he wanted her to be able to hack because he felt like she was magical, and wanted, what we learned was he wanted to build a magic hat, I think, so that in Storybrooke, wait, well, it was to get his daughter back, right? Like if he got magic
Mhm.
back.
Yeah, because he was trying to get, and then she trapped him in Wonderland to get her father back.
Oh yeah.
That's what it was.
And then she ended up killing him anyways. So
I know.
yeah. And first time we saw the Queen of Hearts and didn't know who she was. Turns out she's going to be Regina's mother. I'm not sure at the time that they had actually nabbed Barbara Hershey for the role.
That's what I was wondering.
Yeah. So they just kind of very conveniently, it wasn't revealed. But I remember underneath it, everyone's like, who's the Queen of Hearts? You know. So this was just a good episode, if only just to see the back and forth between Jefferson and Emma. And tour de force performance by Sebastian Stan. Good stuff right there.
And it was a good episode for Emma because she was being the bounty hunter we met in the first episode, where she took matters in her own hands and didn't wait for somebody else to help her.
Exactly, yes. And she just cracked me up. Actually, everything about it cracked me up. It was very well done. And we got to see Snow. She did that like huge kick where she knocked out Jefferson. And it's like she didn't know where it had come from. It's like, yeah, you actually can fight too, Snow.
I know.
You just know it.
You just forgot. Muscle memory. The curse
Exactly.
And that scene at the end. That scene at the end between Gold and Regina, because he got her back, because he's there, and Regina's like, she broke her bail, and then, he talks about his client, and they see each other on the way back, and we find out they had some kind of deal.
Yes.
And then was it the next episode where Catherine shows up alive, or was it the end of this episode?
No, it was much longer, trust me, because it went on forever. But it was also good because it was the first time that Emma almost believed, because at the very end of the episode, she's flipping through the book with Henry, and boom, she sees Jefferson there with the hat in the book. So I remember there was a blogger at the time that said, if this had been a video game, Emma leveled up 1.
and I see about your comment, Luffy, about the Looking Glass. I honestly have never read the actual original Alice in Wonderland story all the way through, so I probably need to give it a chance at some point.
No. Yeah, I was never a big fan of Alice in Wonderland at all. I did like, though, the Once Upon a Time iterations of it, and the TV show Once Upon a Time in Wonderland. I thought that was fantastic.
Which I still need to watch. So.
Yeah. Oh gosh, girl, we got to watch those all together. It's so good, so good. And Amy from Once Upon a Fan, man, she was, she's on it because she is a huge Alice in Wonderland fan. She knew those books inside and out, and so when we were doing those, that was really, really a lot of fun. Okay, it was the next episode, The Stable Boy, that happened, where episode 18, where we finally found out what it was that Snow did that was so terrible. She basically gave away to Snow's mother, Regina's mother.
Was that the first episode we got Barbara Hershey?
Yes, it was. So maybe they had cast her by that point. Maybe
they just didn't know they wanted her to be in Wonderland yet.
Yeah. But yes, we saw how miserable Regina's was, had an abusive mother, and she was in love with the stable boy, and they were going to run off together. And Snow blabbed because she thought she was doing the right thing, but Cora, Regina's mother, manipulated her because she was just a little kid. And that's the other thing, is that ultimately it's like, Regina, come on, she was a child, and Regina knew how her mother could be. So it really wasn't fair for her to be so psycho toward Snow.
Yeah, that was a little weaker plot point because
Mhm.
like, you expected something more along the lines of the
Yeah. Maybe, yeah. I mean, but unless, just the aspect of it, perhaps, that because even though Snow didn't do it on purpose, but that Snow still got everything she wanted and Regina got nothing. Maybe that
maybe.
aspect of it could be. But yeah, it
Yeah.
was a little bit unrealistic for her to be the way she did. But I really did enjoy this episode because we finally found out, and we also saw the actress who plays young Snow White, Bailey Madison.
Yes, she was
She
wonderful.
she was channeling. I remember at first we were wondering if they didn't CGI Jenny's face onto that little girl because it was so uncanny, because she got her expressions and her cadences, but it was really the actress doing it, the little child actress, amazing actress. But I mean, it was really sad because poor Regina. And then when her mother kills the stable boy, and she's desperately trying to kiss him to maybe keep him alive, to bring him back to life, but he's already gone. It'll break your heart. And of course, then it ended with her saying that she wished that
Yes,
Snow had
definitely about
broken her neck.
yeah. Yeah, definitely about the grim style there on the comments because yeah, grim
Oh,
is
okay.
much darker.
Oh, okay. So yeah,
Because
Luffy's
I
got
read a
said.
really good yeah.
Yeah, I'm just going to read out his comment, and then if you can comment on it there. I'm from Europe, so fairy tales or more Brothers Grimm style. Disney is for kids. There are no sequels in Grimm fairy tales. Yeah, I was going to say, I didn't know if you wanted to comment on that, Tamara.
Oh, well, I was going to say, speaking of the grim, there's a really good book, and I'm excited because the Snow White one's coming out now. Jennifer Donnelly. It's called Stepsister. It's a young adult book, and it's about the one of the stepsisters, and it's the one based on the Grimm where she has to cut part of her foot off to fit into the shoe,
Mm-hmm.
and that's how the story starts. So it's the one where you see what the stepmother did to those girls. So yeah,
Wow.
definitely about the darker. Yeah.
Yeah, and I know exactly what you're talking about, because I had in German, I had gotten that from my teacher when I graduated. He gave us all gifts, and he got me in German the Grimm fairy tales, the original ones, and yeah, they were brutal, and so much fun. Totally different though, and that's what made Once Upon a Time
Well,
kind of fun, because I think it kind of married the dark side of those kind of fairy tales with the Disney
I
parts of
think you're
them.
right. You hit a good thing there because it was definitely because I tried to watch the Grimm show that came on about the same time as Once
Mm.
Upon a Time. I couldn't get into that. It was a little too yeah. The Grimm
Well,
show came on about the same time. I just couldn't get into that. Maybe I'll go back and watch it at some point, but it was a lot different
yeah, the
take.
premise was totally different. Yeah, so it's hard to
Yeah.
compare the two.
It was more a police procedural show or something about hunting down monsters and things. So it was more like an X Files kind of thing.
Yes, exactly. Um,
Yeah.
But yes, Luffy. I would agree. Yeah, Luffy's saying that it's more like Once Upon a Time, more like Grimm style. It is, and as I've said, the first 3 seasons. Just ignore the 4, 5, and 6, and most of 7 actually wasn't too bad at all.
Yeah,
But
7 was
that,
good with the whole Weaver Rogers, the police duo of Captain Hook and Rumple. I wish
yeah,
it
they
would have centered more around them and Regina, and they
sooner.
would have done something different with the curse
Hmm.
than the whole part with Tremaine and stuff was weak. The
Yeah,
reason for
there
the
there
fourth
were
curse,
aspects.
and
Yeah, there were aspects of
yeah,
it that were really, really good, and aspects that were really, really not good. Um, yeah.
and
Okay.
Tiana. I was gonna say Tiana would have been a better match for Henry than Cinderella.
Oh well, yeah.
So
Well, yeah. Well,
yeah.
they tried to just do a carbon copy, and it's like it didn't work. But yeah, Grimm was okay. Puddentame says Grimm was more Buffy the Vampire Slayer, but it got stupid at the end too. I heard that. I heard that they did some disappointing things with some of the characters. Uh,
And that's a shame.
yeah, I I just don't know what's wrong with people. It's like why just keep the characters in character.
And I think
I
once they got so many new writers and stuff, and I think the new writers kind of caved to the fan service.
Yeah.
Or,
Or
it was just, yeah, I don't know.
well, I
Where they
I
just
think
forget what they're doing.
yes, there's a lot of aspect to that, but I think there's also some truth in do the writers have a lot of control, or is it coming from
Are they
above?
told by the studio? Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's
that
probably from
some
the
of those are
studio.
studio
What's getting
decisions.
ratings? Yeah, what they think's
Yeah.
getting ratings, and
Yeah, the worst thing that ever happened was when they decided to bring Frozen on, and there was a temporary burst in ratings. Like the ratings went through the roof very shortly, though. It didn't go last long. And then they got it into their head, okay, this is what we're going to do now. We're just going to do gimmick things instead of
hello,
focusing
Revanite.
on the story. It's the Revan Night! So good to see you again, all the way from England. Good to see you, Revanite. Revanite, did you ever watch Once Upon a Time? Just curious. And I always feel torn about whether people should watch it because of what ended up happening with it. But the first 3 seasons were so good that part of me almost thinks it's worth it. Almost
It
does.
is. It is.
Yeah.
And we always have our fan fiction and our head canon. So my head canon changes at season 3B. So
Yeah.
I'm sticking with my head. I'm sticking with my head canon.
Yeah. Yeah, we like headcanon here. We we endorse
Well,
headcanon.
yeah, it was
Uh,
like they had so many opportunities because Camelot and the Greek mythology, and it was our Peter Pan was bad too.
yeah, I was gonna say, yes, Luffy's talking about Peter Pan being mad. Yes, Peter Pan was evil. Oh my gosh, and Once Upon a Time. And Robbie K did such an amazing job with that character. See, I'm thinking, okay, yeah, the way the timing is going, because we're keeping to a pretty strict schedule, that this is probably a good place to end for the episodes to discuss, because just like on the TV show, there was a 3-week break after the Stable Boy aired, and then there was like a rush to the finish, and oh my gosh, each one of those episodes were unbelievable.
I know. And yes, Revanite, please watch Once Upon a Time because I hung around just rooting for Rumple all the time
Yeah.
because that became my goal. I was not giving up on Rumple.
Yeah. Well, how's this, Revenite? Seasons 1 through 3 are a blast. You will absolutely love them, in my opinion. And as for when it starts to get bad, what I just tell people, I always say quit watching at the end of season 3 and pretend like the end of season 3 is the end if you want to, or just keep watching and you'll know when it starts to fall apart and just pretend it doesn't happen. I just, it's the way I feel about the Star Wars sequel trilogy. I just pretend it didn't happen. It was just some very expensive fan fiction. That's how I look at it. But it is on Netflix, at least on American Netflix. I don't know if it's on British Netflix or not.
And I think it's going away from Netflix at the end of August. It's going to Disney, I think.
Oh, it's going over to.
But
well, that makes sense.
Yeah, you can
Disney
buy it
Plus.
on Amazon. I need to buy Once Upon a Time in Wonderland.
Oh gosh, Once Upon a Time in Wonderland. Yeah, Luffy said headcanon is a staple of it. Yes, you have to nowadays. Yes, sounds like go Game of Thrones after season 7 it goes to pot. After season 4, pardon me. Yes, same thing. And usually that's when you get away from your source, when you get away from your roots, that's when things go badly. And that's exactly what happened. And we have some theories. I do believe that there was some interference from the suits. It happens. It just does. And when they are the ones that own the IPs, you do have to go with what they say. And that's why I think that sometimes, not always, but sometimes writers do get a bad rap because they don't always have complete control over what they're doing. But when you see what they did in especially the first season of Once Upon a Time, it was so masterfully
it was amazing.
Crafted. Absolutely masterfully crafted. And like I said, after this Stable Boy episode, that it's just a race to the finish, and some of the best acting and some of the best plotting. It was just so. I know I'm repeating myself, but it really was. It really was good. So
yes, throwing out Conciliated was good.
Oh yeah, yes, that was another potential. Yeah, he could have been. He was a very well cast, and he could have been a really awesome villain. But yeah, well, ultimately, what did happen with him was when the show got canceled about halfway through, and he even said that definitely affected his character. They were like, "Oops, we're canceled. Okay, let's just kill him." Yeah. Spoiler. Well, ultimately, I guess I should say, if you're going to be spoiled if you watch this. I mean, it's impossible not to be spoiled watching.
Hi, Happy Dinosaur.
Oh, it's Happy Dinosaur. Thank you very much.
We had a good turnout. Thank you, everybody.
Yeah, great to see you. We got 6 people. So if you were to look, I meant season 7, not 8 for Once Upon a Time. Yes, yeah, I read your mind. I read your mind, Puddin' Tame. I knew exactly what you meant. But so taking out, we didn't have Skin Deep today. So if you're looking at what happened to So episode 1 times 1-3 to the Stable Boy. Which of those were your favorite?
Me?
Yeah.
Probably taking out Skin Deep. Probably the hat trick.
Mm-hmm.
I just think it was an unusual episode because, like you said, you had Jefferson trying to get Emma to believe. Mm-hmm. And she had everything right in front of her face. And it was a good episode for Emma.
Yes.
So.
Yeah, I would say it'd probably be, well, it's so hard to compare. It's so hard to compare because they were also, they were also different.
I liked Heart of Darkness too. They all have a nuance that is. That's what I say when I started doing this poll. I'm like, well, it's hard to really put episodes against each other, especially in the first season, because they all had a different nuance. And I'm a big Robert Carlyle fan, and even the ones without Robert Carlyle in them for more than a few scenes are great.
Yeah. I would say that for me, I would tie Red-Handed with Hat Trick as far as which ones I really liked and rewatched the most from this.
Yeah, I like Red Handed too. So
Yeah, I really enjoyed Red Handed. I thought that was really a good episode too. The rewatch quality of that was very high. So yeah, we haven't even talked about what's his name. I've totally forgot his name, Pinocchio. But what was his name in Storybrooke?
August.
Yes. Yeah. Meanwhile, August is kind of being mysterious, and we're going to learn a little more about him.
What episode did he even show up in? I can't remember now.
Yeah, he kind of snuck in at the. Was it the end of? Might have been 7:15.
Yeah, let's see.
Because he was around. He just shows up on his motorcycle, and they're like, "Who's he?"
Maybe it was the end of Dreamy.
It might have been that one.
Because looking at my notes.
Yeah, because I just remember that when he was in Red Handed because he was talking about the lemurs, and she was like, "I want to see a lemur."
I do remember that.
Yeah.
Let's see. It wasn't what happened to Frederick.
No.
It wasn't Skin Deep. He wasn't there.
No.
I think it was either the end of. Let's see. Catherine goes missing.
Yeah. But yeah, August. They just kind of dropping little breadcrumbs with him and just little mysteries.
Mm-hmm.
And eventually we learned that he's probably the dumbest man who ever lived because he tries to pull the dumbest deception on planet Earth on gold, which we're going to get into because it comes back with the stranger. What a great episode that was. Let's see. Luffy as God says, I know Tommy is busy preparing for a live stream tomorrow, but why isn't well, you'll have to ask him. That's all I got to say about that. But it is the middle of the night. A lot of these people, well, you live in the future too, don't you, Luffy? You're over there in the future. Okay, what does the Revenant said? I'll probably end up watching all the seasons. I don't think my bar is that high. I still watch The Walking Dead. Oh, brave man. And the majority of people in the fandom I've seen think it's bad, and I still enjoy it. Yeah, well, and I also think that maybe it won't be as torturous for you because it's not like you're waiting like every week for a new episode, or you're not waiting like for seasons. You'll just get to binge watch them. And in our situation, we would be waiting for years for some of the stuff that you end up getting in the show.
And it'd be like you'd get all excited during the summer and
exactly, and then get disappointed again. That was the other thing. And we had to sit through a lot of deceptive interviews that were I don't want to blame anybody because there was a purpose to the interviews that they would give because they were teasers. They really wanted you to watch, and so sometimes it would just seem like something was going to happen that didn't end up happening. So yeah, I would say why not go ahead. Oh yeah, Reverend Knight concurs. Yeah, absolutely. Waiting for episodes is way worse. Yes, because if you think about it, between seasons 3 and 7, that was 4 years. That's 4 years of your life. When you're binge watching, it's not much longer. And if you start to get a little sick of something, you could just say, "Oh, I don't like this person. I'm just going to skip this." You can just search through the bad stuff. Okay, did you find what you were looking for, Weaver's Grace?
Me?
Yeah,
I don't think I was looking for. I don't. No, we might look for that quote about. For what?
For the August. I thought that's what you were trying to confirm.
Oh, yeah, I was trying to figure out where he appeared, and I think it was at the end of Dreamy.
Mhm.
or was it the end of?
At the end of one
Let
of
me
them.
just Google it. It was at the end of the episode because he came in riding on a motorcycle.
Yeah, it
I
was.
do remember that.
It was random, and it was really random. Everyone's just like, "What's this? There's a dude on a motorcycle."
Yeah.
And it was like a
It's a
slow
first
drip.
appearance pilot because he was Pinocchio. It took me a while to figure out he was Pinocchio. That kind of floored me. I didn't.
Well, the main problem with him being Pinocchio was he did not look at all like the kid who played Pinocchio.
Okay, season 1. Let me see. That's not what I wanted. Oh well, we'll figure it out.
Yeah, that's all right. Well, we got the right idea. It was sometime in the middle of all this that it was just little drips and drops of we felt like he had something up his sleeve. He definitely had an interest in Emma.
Oh, it's True North. We went back a little bit.
It was a lot.
It was True North.
Okay, so he was just hanging around because basically he would just be in like 1 or 2 scenes or small little moments just drinking coffee.
And he'd invite, he was kind of observing Emma. Yeah. So I guess he was there longer than we thought he was. Because he just popped up at the end of an episode.
And then was, like we said, just basically having coffee for the next few months until everything happened with the stranger. So he is a character that's lucky to be alive.
Definitely. Several times.
Yeah.
Not the sharpest tool in the shed.
No. Absolutely not. Okay. So, it's 7 o'clock. So we keep pretty strict to that. Let me see. I want to just see. Revenite has a few more comments. Well, I imagine I've been waiting months for the finale episode of this Walking Dead. You're right, because they had to stop it, didn't they? Because of the COVID. You are correct. Heck, will they ever finish it? That's a good question. And the Revenite says it airs on October 4th. Oh, he just answered my question. Apparently, still 2 more months. Oh, my. Well, I hope it didn't end on a cliffhanger.
I'm sure it did.
Yeah, that would not be okay. Okay, well, we are going to go ahead and finish up this once hour. Thank you all for once again with us. It's always a good time.
Thank you, everybody.
Yeah, thank you, Revenite. Luffy is God. You stuck with us through most, and Puddin' Tame. Awesome, Puddin' Tame. Have a great evening, everyone, and be certain if you're, I don't know, if you got a secret, don't tell a 12-year-old. Just don't. Okay. Have a good one, everybody. Goodbye.
Good night, everybody.